Hi guys, it's been a while. Today's video is going to be reviewing every single book I read this year, which is I think it was like 81. I don't really know. I think I'm gonna have to count. But before I start, little disclaimer, it's the day after Christmas. My family downstairs is playing with their harmonicas and playing on the piano and all that fun stuff. So please, if you just hear like screaming or like laughing or harmonica, just ignore them, okay? I have a big family. I can never film because it's never quiet in my house. Anyways, I guess let's go ahead and get started. So right here I have all these piles of like books that I read, and I have them organized by month. And I figured that the easiest way to do this is to go by month and just kind of tell you a simple yes or no if I think you should read it. Because if I like really go into the book, I read 81 books this year. That would be like a really long video. So I figured the easiest way was just to go a simple yes, no, or maybe, depending on whether or not you should read the book. So yeah, I guess let's go ahead and get started. Y'all, my allergies are acting up. I don't know why. It's so awful. I sound sick. I'm not sick. Okay. The very first series I read this year was the Shatter Me series. Ah! Okay, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Ouch. It was the Shatter Me series. This series has a special place in my heart because it was like one of the very first like dystopian slash fan, like it was kind of my like starting to get into fantasy genre, and it was just great. And oh my gosh, my family is being so loud back there. I did read Shatter Me in December of 2022, but the rest I read in January of 2023. And this series I say is a big yes because while like I'm glad I read it when I did, because I don't think I would like it nearly as much if I had read it now after the books that I've read. But I think it's a great start to like low level fantasy. It's kind of dystopian, kind of fantasy. So anyways, I say yes to this series. Okay, the next book I have is If He Had Been With Me. This book is obviously a yes. This book made me cry. I was like, oh my gosh, this upset me so much, but I loved it and I ate it up and it was great. And now, my sister didn't like it. When I told my sister to read it, she did not like it. But I loved it. So I definitely say yes. So now, I don't really remember, I didn't write this book down in my like books I read this year note that I have. But I think I read it this year, and I think it was in February. It's kind of a funny story, and I'm going to be completely honest, I did not like this book. Don't read it, don't waste your time. This book is, no, I just didn't like it. I mean, maybe other people would like it, but I just did not like it. I just did not. Nothing about it, like I forced myself to finish it. I did not like it. But the next book is None Shall Sleep, and I really thought that this was going to be a lot better than it was. And I think that I could see some people liking it. It was just really slow, but I'm going to go ahead and say no, because I never read the sequel. I never wanted to read the sequel. And it was just really slow, and it was kind of boring. Like, it didn't really start until the very end. This book is kind of like the Natural series. If you've read that series, it's a lot like it, but it's not as good. Also, the cover is like really ugly. Ugh. No offense to the author, but like, yeah. And then I read the Maybe Someday series by Colleen Hoover. And again, gonna have to say no. I just did not like these books. I forced myself to read them. They were not good. And you know, this is kind of like the end of my Colleen Hoover. Like, I really read a lot of Colleen Hoover in 2022, and I liked a lot of her books. But then I just like got into like her older books, like Maybe Now or Maybe Someday, and like I think I read Too Late. Oh, I hated that book. That was awful. Oh my gosh. I think I also read that this year. I don't remember when I read it though. Maybe I read it last year. I can't remember. Anyways, this series is an absolute no. Just don't waste your time. Just don't. Just don't, okay? Alright, the next stack is one of my favorite stacks because in the month of March, I like got out of my reading slump and I read so many books. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 books. Month of March was a good month, okay? Alright. This is also the month that I read my favorite book series ever. And you'll figure it out in a second. Okay, very first book I read was The Upside of Falling. This one was super cute. I don't really like love it, so I would say like maybe, because like I didn't obsess over it, but I could see a lot of people obsessing over it, and it was just like a cute little rom-com. Like it was, nothing was wrong with it, you know? So, and I think I remember like enjoying reading it. I never really go back to this book, you know what I mean? I would never reread it, but you know, it was okay. Like, it was alright. It was okay. The next series I have is the Caraval series. Now, I would say yes to the series because I remember really obsessing with it, but I don't think I would go back and read it because it's not really my, like, genre of books anymore. Like, I don't really like that kind of fantasy. You know, it's like kind of like a magical fantasy, and now that I've read a lot of better books, I just don't think I would go back to the series, but I think that I could see a lot of people liking it, and I did, like, obsess over it when I first started reading it. So I would say that this is a yes. Guys, this is my favorite series ever, okay? This is absolutely a yes series, and I bet you can guess what it is. The Boys of Time series. These are my favorite. I have so many different covers. These are not the original. These are the UK edition, I think. And this series is just so good. It has a little, like, slice of my heart. I think of it all the time. My sister recently started reading it, and she's just as obsessed with it as I am. The next few books I read was this was like a series. I never finished reading it though. The first one is Until Friday Night. This one I would say yes because I really liked it. And I remember like reading it really fast. I actually read this book before Binding 13. And I really liked it. But then you get into the next two books, which is Under the Lights and After the Game. I would say no to these books. I did not like them at all. These books I just did not like them, okay? I did not like them, guys. I did not like them. I mean, maybe some people could like them, but no. These books were just a no, okay? I think this is January, February, March, April. First of all, I read 2 books in April on Wattpad, See Me and Notice Me by, I think it was Tell Right. And I do remember really liking those. Now, looking back, I wouldn't read them again. But I think I would say yes. I think you guys should go read those books because they were really good. Definitely check trigger warnings, but they were really good, okay? They were really good. Let's get into the physical books, okay? Physical books. Alright, so the first one I read was Killjoy, which is a prequel to the Good Girls Guide to Murder trilogy. Now, this book wasn't like that good, but just because it had Pippa in it, I'm going to say yes, because it literally is written by Holly Jackson, and I will say yes to any of her books, okay? Okay, and then the next 3 books I had were the Truly Devious series, and this series, again, I really thought I'd like this a lot more than I did, but I'm going to still say yes, because I did remember liking it, and I read it really fast, and I think a lot of people could like this series. It's super cute, and yeah. Okay, I think the next book I read was A Thousand Boy Kisses. I would absolutely say yes to this book. This book made me cry so hard, and it was so good. Now, would I reread this? No. No. But it was good, and I don't think I, like, obsessed over it, especially after I read, like, the Boys of Time series. Nothing just felt the same, but this was still good, and I would still say yes. So yeah, just read this if you want your heart teared out, okay? We have The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. Again, I love this book. It was so good. Anything by Lynn Painter is good, guys, okay? Anything by Lynn Painter is good. So yes, this book was great. I love that she always writes redheads. I don't know why I love that so much, but I love the fact that most of her characters are redheads. Anyways, I just love this book. This book was so cute. I did not realize that Mr. Wrong Number was the first book in this series. It's like an interconnected standalone. I did not realize that. I should have read Mr. Wrong Number yet. I have not read Mr. Wrong Number, but I will. I will. Guys, I will. Anyways, so this one was just super cute. And I think if you're looking for a cute little rom-com, you definitely should read this. And look at the cover. You can't say no to that. Like, okay. And then I have Heartache and Hope and First and Forever. And, you know, I really thought I'd like these books. I really thought, I was like, these are going to be like Boys at Tommen type. I'm gonna love them. They were, I hated them. They were just not good. They were just, I don't know what it was about it, but I just did not like them. Like, I mean, to be fair, I also did like binge read it, but I didn't like it the entire time. So like, if if you want a book series, like a duology that you can binge read, but that you won't ever go back and think about, this is the book series for you. And then the last book I have is a cheat sheet. This one's a maybe, okay? Because I like read half of it and then I stopped reading it for a while because I just didn't like the couple. But it's cute. So like maybe I could see a lot of people liking this. I just didn't. But like maybe. And I have May. I only read 4 books in May. But you'll understand when I show you the books. This series is so good. I have not read the 5th one. I will one day, okay, guys? I will one day. But this series is absolutely, yes, this is kind of what got me into fantasy. My sister recommended me them, and I was like, yes, please. Well, actually, I was really skeptical. But then I read it, and I was like, that was so good. That was so good. And I ate it up, and these books, like, were the start of the summer for me. And they're like so nostalgic for me because I was reading them during my trip and I just love them so much. I love this little family. It's so good. Like, I love them. I love them so much. The only one I didn't like love was A Court of Frost and Starlight. But like, it was still cool. Like, we still liked it, you know? I had to pause for a second because they were like right outside my door. So they were like being so loud. Anyways, now is June stack. So let's start with A Flicker in the Dark. This book, honestly, way overhyped. Did not like it. Did I read it in a day or 2? Yes. But I just did not like it, okay? It just like, I don't know. Like, it was good and it wasn't. So like maybe, I'm leaning towards no, but I'm gonna say maybe, okay? Maybe. This is like a thriller. And I've read some really good thrillers. This one was just not it. I don't really remember what happened. So, maybe. Next one I have is The Fear. Now, I hated the way that this writing was, but the plot twist had me like, oh my gosh. And I was like, okay, I need a second book. Like, I don't care if I hated it. I need the second book. So, like, maybe again. Then we have The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. Yeah, Christina Lauren. I wish I didn't buy this book, guys. I did not realize until like right before I started reading it that I was like, wait, nobody likes this book. And then I read it and I was like, that's okay. But no, just don't waste your time, okay? And the next book I have is Chevy Stevens. Wait. Those Girls by Chevy Stevens. I love Chevy Stevens. Her books are so good. This book is really good. I like held off on it for a long time and then it ended up being like amazing. So absolutely yes. Check trigger warnings because this, like, especially her books are really triggering. But this was so good and I loved it and I want to read it again, honestly. If I didn't know what like happens, because it's a thriller, it's kind of hard to read thrillers again. But yes, please read this book. Then I have Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. Now, I did actually like this book. I would say yes. Okay? Just yes. I mean, Colleen Hoover is a little skeptical sometimes. But some of her books are really good. So just yes. Okay, guys? This was cute. It was cute. Like, I didn't really think of it after, but it was cute. We had fun. We had fun. Oh my gosh, I love this book. The Summer of Broken Rules. This book was so cute. I have her other book, What Happens After, or actually I don't know who wrote it. Is it a girl or, because the name is kind of hard to tell. Yeah, it's a girl. Because the name is K.L. Walther, and I don't know what that means. Like, if that's like initials. Anyway, so this book was absolutely, yes. I think I rated it 5 stars. Now, looking back, I think it was like a 4.5 stars, but it was really good. And I definitely think you should read it. It's a super cute summer book, but it's a little sad. It's really good, and I just think you should read it. Okay, guys? I just think you should read it. You swear? Absolutely yes. Okay, I talked about this book in another video. I don't have to talk about it again. Just yes. Okay, guys? Just yes. And then the last book I have is Nothing More to Tell. This book really disappointed me because I don't know why I thought I would really like it. I think it's because I read Two Can Keep a Secret. Like, I think it was last year. I don't really remember. I think I forgot. Honestly, I'm looking back. I think I forgot to put a few books on, like, what I read this year. Or maybe I just read it last year and I can't remember. Anyway, so I think you should not read this. I hated it. I really thought it was going to be better than it was. I did not like the story at all. I hated it. It was awful. Just don't read it, okay, guys? Just don't read it. And the next one I have is, oh, now we're on to July. July was a good reading month. Oh my gosh, guys. We're getting into another great series. Okay, first of all, I read Dark Roads by Chevy Stevens. This one was another yes, because it was just really good. I just really liked it. Like, I will read anything Chevy Stevens writes, okay? It was just really good. And I think you should read it because her writing is super easy to get into also. And her thrillers are so good. And they're so, like, heartbreaking. You really connect to the characters. Okay, and then the next book I have is Every Summer After. This one's a maybe for me because I liked it, but I also didn't. Like, you know, so, like, maybe I did not like the ending, but, like, I liked the book. It's really similar to Love in Other Words. But, you know, it was good, but I didn't like it. So maybe. The next few books that I read were half of the Throne of Glass series. I read Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and then Assassin's Blade. That's definitely the order that you should read, in my opinion, by the way, guys. Just take my word for it. Just read it in this order. But I read Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Assassin's Blade, Air of Fire, and Queen of Shadows all in July. And I ate the series up, you guys. Oh my gosh. It was so good. Like, it was so good. It was so good. Oh my gosh. I am obsessed with these characters. I love them all. And they're just great. Okay, they're just great. And then I kind of took a break from Throne of Glass for a second and read The Words We Keep. This book is absolutely a yes. I love this book. I felt like I related to the main character so much. I've talked about this book in another video, so I won't get too into it. Just read it, okay, guys? It was just really good. This is August. I read the rest of the Throne of Glass series. Again, love this series. Pretty much all the books were 5-star for me, okay? They were just all 5-star. I love them so much. It's very high fantasy, but, like, it's so worth it, okay, guys? Don't be scared. Don't be scared that it's an 8-book series. Just read it. Just read it, guys. Just take my word for it. Just read it. And then I have Wait For You. This is by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Oh my gosh, I can't say her name. Anyway, so I do really remember liking this book. Now, did I like some part? Did I not like some parts of it? Some parts of it I really did not like. And I don't know if I'd reread it. But it's a yes, because it was cute. It was cute. It's like a college romance. Definitely check trigger warnings. But yeah, it was cute. Like, I don't know, it was cute. And the next book I have is Fourth Wing. I love this book so much. This book is my favorite. This is honestly one of the best reads of the year. Okay? I just love this book so much. Definitely yes. Absolutely yes. Just absolutely. Like, absolutely yes. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because I was like, man, it's like hyped up so much. But then I read it and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. No wonder it's hyped up so much. And that book put me in a reading slump, especially because the next month, September, I told myself I was going on a book buying ban for 2 months, and that put me in a reading slump too. But, okay, starting with September, we have The Prison Healer. This book is an absolutely yes, even though it was quite slow at first. And it kind of got me in this reading slump at first, but I was kind of also already in a reading slump. But then by the end, I was like, oh my gosh, I want the second book immediately, except I'm on a book buying ban, and I can't buy it. So, yeah. Anyways, you should absolutely read this book. Maybe listen to the first half on audio, just because it's a little slow at first, okay? But it was so good. This series has a special place in my heart also, because it was just so good. 2 books I have is Dare You to Hate Me, which I say no. No. College Sports Permit, no. Okay? No. And then the second book, which is Beg You to Trust Me. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's all I have to say for September. I read 3 books in September, guys. October's, I'm gonna be honest, October was also not a good reading month. Starting with The Naturals, yes, I love this book. Yes. I was mad because I was still on a book buying ban and I couldn't buy the second book. But yes. Yeah. Okay? Just yeah. Then, I'm going to break a lot of hearts saying this, guys. I'm really sorry. Okay? I'm really sorry. I did not like Once Upon a Broken Heart. I did not like it. No. 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 I'm sorry. No. I don't know why I didn't like it. I just didn't, okay? And I have the second one too, and I don't know if I'll ever get to it, because I just did not like it. I just did not like it. Okay? I just did not like it. I don't know what it was about it, but I did not like it. And I'm sorry. I feel like I broke a lot of hearts just saying that, because everybody loves it. I did not. Okay? I did not. Then we have Ghosted. This one's, I think, a maybe, because I didn't like it. It kind of put me in a slump. But if I read it at a different time, I think I would have liked it more. So, like, maybe. Because, like, I don't know. Maybe, okay? You know what's funny, though? I read this book in October. Actually, I think I started it in September, but I finished it in October. And I did not realize, because she works in a supermarket, I work in a supermarket. And I feel like there was just such foreshadowing for my life. Because literally October, I started working at a grocery store. Just found that funny. Anyways, the next one we have is Paperweight. And this book was just like a no. Okay, it could have been better. It really could have been better. It was just a no. I feel like most books that are this tiny, for me at least, are a no. Because they're like, there's just not enough. There's not enough, like, you don't fall in love with the characters enough. But, like, and, like, by the time it ends, you're like, it's just a book, you know? So just no. But some people may really like this, but just no. Then we move on to November. Very first book I had is Darling Venom. This one I did like, but I look back and I'm like, you know? But yeah, I would say yeah. Yeah. And then we have The Gilded Cage, which is the second book in the Prison Healer trilogy. This book is absolutely a yes. Okay? Just absolutely a yes. I love that series so much. Okay, the next book in November was a very anticipated read, which is Iron Flame. Now, I actually heard that, like, some people did not like this book. And it was hard to get into, yes, but it was absolutely worth it, and I think it's absolutely a yes. And I think the people who are hating on it just don't realize that some fantasy books kind of need to be a little bit of a filler book. And this was definitely a little bit of a filler book. And I definitely loved it, though, okay? I loved it. And you should, too. Just read it. And if you have this book and you have not read it yet, just read it, okay? Just read it. Like, don't be disappointed, because it's the second book of a fantasy series. Like, it's gonna be a little complicated, okay? It's gonna be a little complicated, but just read it. It's literally so good. and I ate it up, and the end had me shocked. Oh my gosh, that ending, oh my gosh. I feel like I need to reread it because I forgot some things that happened. But yeah, I just need to reread it, okay? And then the next book I have is The Blood Trader, which is the last book of the Prison Healer trilogy. Again, yes, this book broke my heart. It was like the saddest book in the trilogy. Yeah. Then we have Be With Me, which is the second book. Like, back when I read Wait For Me, or For You, this is the second book. Okay, this is the second book about, like, I don't really remember, but it's like an interconnected series. But just, like, they can, like, work alone, but they're interconnected standalones. But just don't read this, okay? It just sucked. It sucked. I just did not like it. Like, it was just not good. I just didn't like the way that, like, the main character, the main female character, had, like, this big thing in her past. And they did not explore it at all. You're like, I know that this happened a few years ago, but shouldn't she still be a little bit affected by this? And they, like, practically ignored it. Like, they ignored her past. And I was like, it was more about the guy. And I was like, what about the girl? She has, like, a traumatic past. I want to learn more about that. And it did not, like, dive into it like I wanted to. And it was really disappointing. It was really disappointing. Maybe I'll read the third book of the series. Maybe I won't. But it was just really disappointing. Oh my gosh, I love this book so much. We Have Betting on You. This book was so good. I originally read it on the Apple Kindle app thingy. The Apple books. And it was just so good. It was so good. I rated it 5 stars. It's also by Lynn Painter. And I just love Lynn Painter's books. They're just so good. Also, I love the way that books smell. It was just so good. Okay, guys? It was just so good. And I love it. And absolutely, okay? Absolutely. And then I have The Killer Instinct. Wait, not The Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct. Yes. This is the second book of the Natural series. And it was just so good, okay? It was so good. I loved it so much. It kind of matches my pants. It was so good, guys. It was so good. Just read it, okay? Just read that series. If you want, like, Criminal Minds, but teenagers, just read it, okay? This is the last stack. This is December's stack, okay? This was, again, I was like a tiny bit of a reading slump this month. Mainly because I, like, am in the middle of, like, 3 books that I just can't get into. I'll show you these 3 books just because I'm reading them right now and I just can't get into them. First one is The Way I Am Now. It's just slow. I can't get into it. And then there's False Witness. I like the plot. It's just really detailed and hard to get into. And then there's Fear the Flames. So I probably will eventually read these, okay, guys? I just haven't, okay? Like, I'm a little bit into each of them. So it kind of put me in a little bit of a book slump. But, alright, I guess let's go ahead and get started. So the first book we have, okay, first of all, look at this. Look how pretty. Look how pretty that is. Okay, look how pretty that is. It's The Do-Over. This book was absolutely, I guess, I really liked it. Now, was it 5 stars? No. This it just wasn't a 5-star. Okay, and the next 2 books I have is All In and Bad Blood, which is the last 2 books of the Natural series. Again, just yes. Just read this series, guys. I feel like that's obvious. I keep saying yes and no and maybes. But just, if I say yes, just immediately add it to your TBR. Because it's meant to be. Okay, it's meant to be. Then we have My Heart and Other Black Holes. Again, it's just like one of those tiny books that you don't really get to really understand the characters like you want to. And I just say no, okay? I just say no. Just no. Then we have The Kiss of Deception. This book was really slow at first, but then I got into it and I was like, okay, now I'm going to continue reading it. So, yes. I'm going to continue reading this series. And then I'm going to read the Dance of Thieves series after. So, yeah. I would say yes to this book, okay? Maybe just, like, I listened to a lot of it on audiobook. And I think that really helped me because it was kind of slow at first. But yeah, I think I really like this. I think I'm gonna really get into this series. So, yeah. And then this is the last book. This book I read yesterday on Christmas. I got it on Christmas Eve, and I read it like so fast. That's how much I liked it, you guys. I rated it 5 stars. Okay, And I feel like a lot of people don't know about this series. Okay, let's do a little drum roll, okay? An Ember in the Ashes. I love this book. Oh my gosh, I love this book. It was so good. It was so good. The next book is A Torch Against the Night. And I have it coming in the mail, and I'm so excited. I love this series so much. I literally rated the first book 5 stars. Maybe I'll like the rest of the books. Maybe I won't. But like, oh my gosh, it was just so good. It was so good. And I want to reread it already. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And I feel like it's so underrated. It's like a fantasy series, but also a tiny bit dystopian. But it's like kind of based off the Roman Empire in a way. And it's just so good. Oh my gosh, guys, it's just so good, okay? It's just so good. And I absolutely feel like the series is underrated. And I'm so excited to read the rest of it. And I love it so much. Oh my gosh, guys. I didn't find anything wrong with it. And I was like, it's almost felt Throne of Glass level, okay? Almost felt Throne of Glass level. That's a big thing, guys. That's a big thing, okay? That is the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know I talked a lot. I love to talk about books. And I definitely had to cut a few scenes out because my family is so loud. My sister just came in and knocked over my plant. And I was like, are you kidding me? You just knocked over my plant. So anyways, now I'm gonna go clean my room, I guess, because look how many book stacks I have. Anyways, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I was so excited to make this video all year. Because I've read so many good books this year, and I feel like I needed to tell you guys about them. And you should absolutely read some of these books, okay? Absolutely. Especially, this is my new favorite. Okay, this is just my new favorite. It's just so good. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. And I definitely want to film more coming in 2024. And I'm excited. It's gonna be a great year. And thank you guys. I love you guys.